Hey, howdy, hi, and welcome back to my channel. I'm BA. Tonight's Zen Doodle is going to be this little guy. We are actually just going to be doing the border. I'm going to show you guys how to do this cool little border, whimsical border, because later on in the week, we will be doing this Zen Doodle. I like to use the building block method. You know, the last video we worked on that, which is going to be the background of this piece. So this Zen Doodle, I wanted to show you how to do the border piece for a couple of reasons. It gets you thinking about things that you might want to morph it into your own piece. You might want to change and deviate from what I'm about to show you. You know, my hope is that you learn this, you practice it, you add or take away and make it your own. So yes, that is what we will be doing. This is a much smaller piece than the 3.5 piece of paper that I have. And honestly, I don't know how big this is because I don't have my ruler. Again, I am still fur baby sitting. So I am short on utensils.
Let's drive west across a great divide.
It doesn't really matter what size paper you're working on as long as it's not 8.5 by 11. If it's 8.5 by 11, you will be here for an eternity. So go with a smaller piece. I went with a smaller piece just to try and shorten up these videos a little bit for you and for my storage on my phone. The next thing you're going to need is a ballpoint pen, a fine point marker, or a Sharpie, a fine point Sharpie, or a gel pen. I prefer the Sharpies just because they don't smudge. So that's great. We don't need a pencil, we don't need a smudger or an eraser. That's it. It's real simple tonight. Just a piece of paper and the pen of your choice. So let me zoom in, get my materials ready, and I will see you soon. Bye.
Out to California where the hipsters.
We are just going to take the next 30 minutes to focus on ourselves, focus on our core, finding our balance, being in the moment, forgetting our problems, the problems of others, future problems, past problems. We're letting it all go. Take a nice deep breath in. And out. Let your energy fill the room. And bring yourself fully into the moment. All right. That feels good, doesn't it? Letting all that stuff go. Let's do this. So this border is meant to be, when I was doing it, I was kind of thinking lace. I like to do the outside circles nice, big, and bold and black. I like that they're not all perfectly, like you have heavier sides on one side. I think that adds to the whimsy of this piece. The other thing that I make sure to do with these pieces, this doodle, is that all of the circles are touching. Now, when we draw our circles on our paper, some of them might not touch. That you really don't have to worry, because when we go back in here and we darken these up, you can darken them up and bring them out so that they touch other circles. The other thing that I want you to be cognizant of in this piece are these little details that we do in here, because this is us practicing getting super close and super thin to that line. Because in this piece, we're going to have to do that when we do the black portion. So that's why I put these little lines in here. This is going to be a super easy Zen Doodle. You'll really get to space out and just enjoy it. It's completely random. That was the other point I wanted to make, is these are completely random circles. Sometimes you have 2, 1, sometimes they're smaller, some are bigger, some are medium. Just make them completely random. See all this space in here? it's kind of like a lace effect. First step, start in a corner. I always start in a corner. And I usually start with a really big circle in the corner. And then I just go and do a couple random, maybe two, a slightly smaller circle. I like to use these circles in my water art. If I'm doing mermaids, ships, beaches, oceans. Here's an example.
We'll see hipsters on patrol.
But I like to do that because it gives, I just like the whimsiness of it. I like, it really conveys bubbly and a lot of, even though it seems like a water situation going on, there's a whole lot of air element going on there as well, which I really dig. And it really breathes. If you have a piece that's really intense in the middle, it's always nice to have this as a type, a border like this, because it does. It has a lot of space in it. It really breathes. Now see, I just did this. If your line isn't, like if one person could look at that and say, man, that's messy. It sure is. I agree, totally. But you don't have to worry about it because we're coming back in and we're going to go over all this. Especially these lines. We're going to make them just bigger, bolder, and let them stand out. So you can pretty quickly go through this and do this portion. I know that we're not doing anything this evening in this center, or you're doing whatever you want, but you also might want to be cognizant of how far in you're going. Like mentally, just tell yourself, all right, I want to put my center right in here. Therefore, you know not to draw any circles bigger than that square that you're going to use for your main focal point. The other great thing about these small little cards is that when you are working out your thought process for your main art piece, it's always nice to do it on small cards like this, just so you can see what it is that you are working on and how it's going to look. Think about how you want to morph it. Let me show you. My mom initially brought Zentangle to my attention, and we started swapping all these little Zentangles back and forth to one another. So I never throw away anything that I work on. And when I'm working on making a Zentangle for you guys or a Zen Doodle for you guys, I will sometimes go back to old Zentangles that I do. So you should be keeping your practice squares. After you've learned this, take it, learn it, then practice it, and morph it into your own thing. I will take those Zentangle patterns, and when I'm working on a piece for coming up for you guys to do for Zen Doodle, I will sometimes refer back to that, or I will refer back to my old Zen Doodles. Sometimes I will just make my own stuff up. This is a building block. This is a jumping block for you guys to just learn it and then let your imaginations take over and see what you get, because amazing things happen. Like that one woman that sent me a photo of her work.
Starlets on a stroll as we're rolling down.
Look at what she's doing. I mean, I see that one picture in there that she took from one of my tutorials, but look at what it's all inspired her to do. It's just amazing what people can come up with. All right, I digress. Let's get back on track. The next step is to go in and do, like these larger circles, I'll do 3, sometimes 4 circles inside of these. Just see how tight I can get it. Then I'll take some circles and I'll do just a single ring inside there. Some of them I'll take and I'll do 2. But I only do these bigger circles. I will leave these tiny circles here blank. I'll leave them wide open. You kind of want just like a whole random effect going on. Just to add a little more character to your piece. I also like the challenge of being able to, like, how many rings can I squeeze into that little circle? And if you want to leave some of these bigger ones just wide open, that's cool. You can do that. Like I said, take it, morph it, make it your own. Okay. We got our random circles going on in there. Now, just for added character, we are going to go in here, and with all of the ones that I have rings on, these are the ones that I'm going to go and make a small outside line on. If it's got rings, I'm going to do just a little outline on that. I'm not going to do all the circles like that. I'm just going to do these outside, these ones that have rings. The devil is in the details, as they say, right? And now we are going to go in and we are just going to add weight to these outside lines on these, on all the circles. And don't worry about if one side of the circle is thicker than the other, because I really think that that just adds to the whimsy of the piece. You know, we're looking for something that's Zen Doodle, for me anyway. It's not about being precise. It's about, well, the therapy aspect, just zoning out. But it's about a whimsy, a certain amount of joy that should come through in your work. And for me, that's not stressing about being perfect. So see the difference of that? How the heavier side is on that side. It just adds a certain amount of character to it. It's more whimsical, I think. Be watching your breath. Make sure you're breathing deeply. No shallow breathing. Careful how hard your grip on your pen. You don't want to be doing the death grip. Just a nice light hold. Let the pen allow the ink to flow. These nibs on these pens are very sensitive. You don't really want to crush them. And this pen is amazing. It's an ultra fine point marker, and I think I bought it at the dollar store, and I am so digging it, like more than my Sharpie pens. Okay, we're back. Sorry, my phone died and ran out of battery. So, not to mention a fair amount of that was out of frame. I'm sorry. I gotta figure something out there because that's driving me nuts. So what I did was I went in and I just made these circles super heavy. Took and made the outside lines super heavy. Then I didn't touch the inside lines because I really don't want those any heavier. I just wanted these outside lines on these circles to be thicker. Then I took and went and I outlined the whole thing out here. I started out just outlining, just putting little outlines on the rings, those, But since I was waiting for the battery to charge, I just decided to see what it looked like for everything to be kind of outlined. So you can see the difference here. This one, I just went and did the little line on the very outside of the circles that had rings inside of them. Do you notice that? But on this one, I went and took and did the whole outline, the whole thing, creating just another border to the framework. So go ahead and do that. Pick one and finish it through. Then you have your blank space. And as I said, you can put whatever you want in there. I think in this one, these cards, I've been trying to figure out, like, what am I going to do with these? I might make these just like little cards for gifts or something. I don't know. What do you guys think? What are you going to use yours for? I decided that I'm going to do a ladybug. And I'm going to do it on the diagonal. For ladybugs, fairly easy. You just do a half circle. If you want to do it in pencil first, so you can make changes, go for it. So there's her body, and then here is her little head. And just going to make little, and then she's got 3 legs. 2 of them are going that way, 1 of them's going that way. And I will put some dots on here because she is a ladybug. And then give her some little antennae. Happy. We're going to make a happy ladybug. Just put whatever you want in the center. Maybe mushroom, a star, a heart. Whatever you're feeling in your heart. There's our Zen Doodle for the evening. So take what you learned tonight and practice it. Make your own changes. Maybe you want to do something inside the dots. Maybe you want to do a different type of border on the outside of that. Whatever, man, you need to make it your own. Or just use that. That's very comfortable, easy border to use. Like I said, this will be the next Zen Doodle we do, where we are going to implement everything. People, do not be freaked out by having to draw the peace sign. I can tell you it's very easy. I wouldn't put this up if I didn't think beginners could handle it. I really feel that anybody could do that Zen Doodle. So I hope to see you. Please come back and join us for that Zen Doodle. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're leaving a little more relaxed and calm and found your Zen. And I hope you have a great week. Enjoy your evening. Have a splendid one. And I will see you soon. Peace, love, and rocks. Bye.
On the cruise control, and it's all